Hello, my name is Richard Warner, and I'm going to be beginning today, June 4th, 2016, my video blog, or vlog, or vlog. It's a new moon today, so this is a good day to get started. This is a project that's been on the back burner for a long time. I've been put up to this by several really good friends and associates who have said that this is something that they thought that I should do. And the question was always whether to do it on a type kind of blog or whether it actually to do it as a video. I've decided to go with the video. We're going to be talking about a number of things. First of all, I guess I want to give a little bit of background on who I am and what I'm about. I'm a visual artist. I'm trained. I went to the Ontario College of Art, which is now called OCAD. I have a long background. I've traveled a lot, read a lot. I've experienced many different types of methods of looking at things in different ways. I was involved in Tibetan Buddhism for a while, in Hindu practice for a while. I've been an avid scientific reader. I've done a number of things, and one of the things that's come out of all of this for my life is the idea that no one single way of looking at things will give us any real answers of any kind. And in this regard, I really look at the work of German artist Gerhard Richter for inspiration. He's always been an inspiration for this. Richter is a contemporary painter. I think he's probably in his late 70s or 80s now. He is known for really going against the grain in terms of art. Most art it's considered to be proper, and we're going to be looking at what's proper and what isn't. It's proper if you create a style and stick to that style and you never vary that. If you vary that and you go beyond an established style or something that you're known for, this is really bad news in the art world. This is considered to be somewhat disingenuous, insincere, which I think is an absolute pile of rubbish. Richter challenged it back in the 80s. He was taken to task by a very Marxist critic of the day, Benjamin Buchloh, who criticized Richter very heavily for doing what he does, which is he will do extraordinarily beautiful, purely abstract paintings, very powerful paintings. And then at the same time, he will also do extremely photorealistic paintings. They're so realistic that you can get right up to an inch or two away from them and look at them and barely see a brush stroke. They're so extraordinary. It's unbelievable, and it's kind of hard when you look at his work in collection. If you see it in a retrospective or into a gallery, how many different approaches he has. So he's got the abstract approach, he's got the photorealistic approach, and then he also does conceptual work. Installation work and so on. And these are three very, very different things in the art world and so on. And he does these things simultaneously, puts them together, and he's been criticized for it. In answer to Buchloh's rather Marxist interpretation of his work and criticizing for him for being disingenuous by not having having more than one single style, Richter answered with this, and it's always been an inspiration, I think, for me ever since, as he said, we cannot look at reality in any one way and see the totality of it. We have to see it from several perspectives, from several different perspectives. Only then, he says, only then can we even begin to approach what reality is. And this is kind of going to be the underlying theme of this blog. This is going to be where I'm going to be going, because I'm going to be pulling in just about everything that I've ever experienced and dealt with in life, and we're going to raise questions. And I think that's important to understand. We're talking about questions. We're going to be dealing with questions. I will make statements about things, but really it's all going to be directed towards questions. And I think what we need now, everybody has an answer, but I think we need questions, and I think we need to question a lot of things. And this is where I'm going to be going with this blog. We're going to be looking at various issues, and we're going to look at some things fearlessly. For example, and this is going to be a big one, the biggest taboo today, and it's not sex or perversion or child porn or some of the wilder things which we can get on HBO or any other channels now. It's pretty much all out in the open, and people love to talk about these things. In fact, the more twisted and the more weird, the more bizarre, people seem to be, it's fine now to talk about these things. The one thing now, which we won't talk about, which generally the population doesn't talk about, is God. We never talk about God. To do so, rational, intellectual people bristle at the mention of the word God, and then what comes in is a prepackaged, pre-formulated, and unconscious paradigm that looks in reaction at that word and reacts against. And then we have people who will take that word and they will have their own preconceived, prepackaged reaction to that word, and that's very positive. They're very supportive and so on. And I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at the concept of God from something very different. We're going to be looking at the concept of God through science, through spirituality, which is very different from religion. They are not the same thing. They have commonality, they have some connections, but they are not the same thing. To be religious is very different from being spiritual, and vice versa. So we are actually, at some points in this blog, we are going to talk about God, and I think that it's an important thing that we need to do. Quantum physics is just about talking about God, and we're almost there. And I think we need to look at this, and I think that this is a concept that we need to examine in depth. So we're going to look at other things. We're going to look at ethics. We're going to look at ethics in behavior, ethics in government, business, many different things. So as things come up in my life, I'm going to bring these things up. I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to make references to many different books and so on. I'm going to, for example, I've got one here, The Crack in the Cosmic Egg by Joseph Chilton Pearce. I'm sorry about the fact that the camera reverses the print. We're going to look at a number of things. I'm going to make suggestions to musicians, artists, writers, and so on, and share everything that I've gathered throughout my whole life and see if that does anything for you. And again, if this facilitates questions. So welcome to the VisionHeart, Richard S. Warner, that is my name. I wanted to use VisionHeart, but I wasn't able to do it by itself. And that's, again, that's my practice. That's my logo. That's my, I guess, the theme of my work all along. And I have a profile on Flickr that uses the name VisionHeart. My Facebook page uses the word VisionHeart. I have a tattoo that is based on that, and so on, and it's actually my logo. So we're going to be going forward with this, and I hope we can find something in this, some of the questions that we ask, helpful, and at least to provoke some thought and some thinking. And I thank you for taking the time to look at my video.